A couple months ago, two friends and I decided to create a Rhythm Heaven clone for our software engineering final project. But with it being worth 15% of our grade, I'm worried that this game won't live up to its potential. Instead of telling my teammates this, I decided to fix it all by myself, adding a little touch of my favorite game, even though I don't know how to draw, animate, or design sound. To begin, I need a way to keep everything in sync to the beat of the music. All future components rely on this one, so messing this up will cause the game to be unplayable, a lesson I learned the hard way with the previous version of this game. Fortunately, I found a solution in a script made by Ringside. This Conductor uses a brilliant system for handling beats in a way I hadn't even considered possible. Importing it into my project, I initially had some trouble understanding how it worked and how I was supposed to use it. But after some struggle and viewing the demo, I was eventually able to figure it out, creating this along the way. Now that I have a better understanding of how the Conductor works, it's time to test that understanding by building a track that's flexible enough to handle the dynamic minigame's Rhythm Heaven features, while still being structured enough to allow for rapid development. To do this, I'll define different actors within the track. These actors have four main ways they can respond to specific beats. But within these ways, they can react however they want. So all the game has to do is check which beat the actor said they wanted to respond to, and when it's time, tell the actor to do their thing. To test how this works, I took what I had, Ringside demo song and an animation my teammate made from the previous version of this game, to make this. I created a new track with the Ringside audio, and now, it's time to bring in the Slime Rancher assets. As I was drawing the art, okay wait, I know the art looks bad, okay, just wait a minute, you'll see an improved version in just a bit. I realized I've only ever seen perfect gameplay of Ringside. I don't know what happens when the player misses. Luckily, a man with no rhythm happened to upload full gameplay of their run of Rhythm Heaven Fever on YouTube, allowing me to analyze every aspect of the level. Thanks RT Game. I was planning to have this slime be a boom Gordo so that it could explode fireworks at the end, but knowing my limited art skills, I just wanted to keep it simple with the pink Gordo. What would be the art for answer, flex, and pose? I originally thought to give the Gordo slime expressions that regular slimes had, such as surprised and feral. But then I remembered fashion pods exist, so I used that as reference instead. Venturing on to the stuff of the journey I feared the most, I knew that if I didn't get this right, all of my hard work would have been for nothing. To clean up the art, I'm using a pixel art brush and a multitude of references, forcing me to focus only on the details that mattered. For the audience members, I just colored in the silhouettes, and thanks to a simple suggestion from my art friend, I was able to bump up the quality of my art. And to be honest, I'm quite proud with how this turned out. Sure, it's a bit simple, but as someone who's tried to learn how to draw multiple times in the past, it's nice to know that my secret tactic of learning any new skill works without fail. Just throw yourself at it enough times and you'll eventually get it. I found out it's not that I don't know how to draw, it's just that I don't know what I'm capable of drawing. Anyway, the art started out like this, and ended up like this. Now that I have a way for all of the on-screen elements to keep the beat, it's time to make sure the player is keeping the beat, and that's where this system comes into play. When I started work on the Judgement system, I realized that I didn't actually know the controls of Rhythm Heaven Fever. Sure, they're listed on the wiki, but I didn't know when the player actually had to input them. Luckily, RT Game comes to the rescue again, as I was just able to watch him fill the tutorial section, allowing me to learn the controls secondhand. When the Judgement system sees that we're inside of a hit window of a normal note, it checks to see if the correct key has been pressed. If so, it tells the necessary actors about the hit. If the key isn't pressed, it continues checking until the hit window is over, after which it informs the actors about the miss. To get a response to I also needed to add support for special notes, which will require two keys to be pressed at the same time. It's quite simple to do this. All I needed to do was check two things. 1. Are we within the hit window? And 2. Did the player press both keys? If so, we're good to go and I can just clear the input at the end of the frame. Except when I went to play, it only worked 30% of the time. Apparently, I was requiring frame perfect input from the player. To fix this issue, I changed the way the system checks for key presses. Now, it remembers each key press for a short period, and when both keys are pressed within the short window, that's when I perform Judgement. I rewrote this system way too many times, so I'm finally happy that it works. Not expecting much, I did a quick search to see if there were any projects similar to mine, and to my surprise, there was. And it was much better. What was the purpose of my project if another existed and it was significantly better and easier to use? This question took a hit out of my morale, but then I remembered that this project is due in a month's time, so I better hurry up. Cute characters on the screen are nice, but they need to feel alive. Since my animation doesn't have dynamic camera movement, I needed something else that the player can latch onto so they don't get bored. I wanted to challenge myself with frame-by-frame 2D animation, which would actually mark this project as being the first time I've ever done this in my entire life. So I opened up Krita and animated the wing flaps of these two slimes, and gave the drone a talking animation. But it looks like I have some practicing to do. Although I've never done this sort of animation, I am quite familiar with animating with curves. So by augmenting each actor's position, rotation, and scale, I can get the audience members to enter the scene, and jump when it's time for the Gorilla Slime to pose for the fans. All movement was made with curves, with start time synced to the beat. Some animations are interconnected sequences with massive time delays, but I didn't worry about that since it's not part of the gameplay and all of these animations are synced to the same timer, meaning they won't drift out of order. However, there's been something bothering me since I imported the Ringside audio and Slime Rancher art. Listen to this, maybe you can hear it as well. The grunts and shots do not fit at all with the lighthearted Slime Rancher theme. To fix this, I wanted to push the sound design more towards Slime Rancher by including sound effects from the game. So I can have the hen squawk before it's gobbled up, and I can have this quantum ghost make its wobble noise as it glides across the screen. And just like that, we have the entire game complete with multiple states and a surprise at the end. Hopefully, even the developers of Slime Rancher will like this little project. As for my classmates, they can't compete with this. The final result has a bunch of references for you to find, so let's get on to it.